Hey everyone, how's it going? What I'd like to talk about now is some advanced routing with the Pod Go. What you can see here is I have a more preamp pedal. That more preamp pedal is running into the effects loop. So what I've done is I've created a patch that has a dirty and a clean sound built into a single patch using the more preamp pedal as the dirty preamp. We can do this using the effects loop that's in the Pod Go. So first, let's talk about how the patch is set up. So if we come in here and we go to the loop, you can see that we have the effects send and return. You come out of the effects send, you run into the input of whatever pedal you're going to be placing in the loop. From the output, you run back to the return. What that will do is it'll allow the signal, your clean guitar signal that comes in through the pod. It allows your signal to come through, out through the loop, and then back in through the loop after it runs through the pedal. So just to give you an example of what that sounds like. So that's the more preamp. If you turn the preamp off, you're back to clean. So the way I have this patch set up is we have the wah pedal, a compressor for my clean sound, an overdrive, the more preamp pedal, which is the loop, the EQ, which is bypassed, a clean amp model, which is the jazz rivet inside the Pod Go, volume pedal, then a chorus, a delay, and then the cabinet IR. This cabinet IR runs both on the clean and dirty sounds within this patch. So the way I have it set up right now is we're in stomp mode. So as you can see, all of these are set up to control multiple parameters, except for the delay and except for this one. The way I have this patch set up, which I'll show you in a minute, is I have this button here, turns on the more preamp, turns off the jazz rivet amp, and turns off the compressor and turns on the overdrive with one switch. So if you click that, you can see, it's easier, you can see it this way. You can see that the jazz rivet is now active. If I click it again, you see that it's now off and the Screamer 808 is turned on. So you have your distortion, and then with one click, back over to clean. Now, in addition, in stomp mode, I have it set up so that I can take my foot and with a single button press, go pressing two buttons, just hitting them at the same time, I can turn chorus and clean on at the same time. Then if I want to go back to dirty, hit them both again. In addition, if I go to clean, I have other options that I have set up. So if you look here, I have delay I can turn on while clean is active. I have this set up as a mix so that I can get more or less chorus, whether it's on or off. And this changes the delay time from quarter notes to eighth notes. And we can show you, well, we'll show you shortly, how to configure all that so that you can have it set up. So let's go in and have a look at the patch and how you go about setting parameters. So if you see here, we have the LA Studio comp. Okay, the LA Studio Comp is not currently set up as a singular pedal on its own. That's so you don't have to turn your clean on and then turn on the compressor. What you can do is you can go in, you can hit both page buttons, go to bypass control by pressing the first knob, and then you could set the parameter to bypass. And then currently it's set on foot switch 5. You can change which foot switch is active by scrolling this button this knob right here. So that'll make it 6. Put it down here. That'll put it on 5 here. And that'll put it there. So the way I have it set up is so when I turn my chorus on, it activates my chorus and my compressor at the same time. Same goes for the chorus. Now, by setting your bypass to foot switch 5, you can... Now, while you're in there, in the menu, a couple things to remember. You have multiple parameters that you can change. By scrolling the first knob, you can go into all the parameters that are in the chorus and set them to whatever foot switch you like. So as you can see right here on my mix, I have it set to foot switch 2, which is here. So that will change how much chorus is in the sound just by adjusting it with this button. So I have a 50% mix and I have a 100% mix, the way I have it set up. So what you would do is you would go in and you would go to the parameter you want. So right now, currently parameter is mix. Set it to controller, which is foot switch 2, which is this button here. And then you have a minimum value of 50 and a max value of 100. So whenever you press the button, it's going to switch between 50% mix and 100% mix. That'll allow you to adjust the parameters of the effects on the fly. And it works that way with every effect in the unit. So as you can see, in my delay as well, I have some set up. So right now the bypass is set up for foot switch 6. So when I click this button, my delay will turn on and off. If I scroll to the right, you see how I have time set. Time is set to foot switch 3. And the minimum value is a quarter note and an eighth note. So this will change my delay from a quarter note to an eighth note every time I click this button. You can do that with any parameter on any effect in the PodGo. So let's talk a little bit more about the effects send and return. The effects send and return in this case is being used for a preamp pedal in order to get an additional tone and in order to have 2 amps inside of a single preset. This loop can be used for any pedal. Any pedals that you own can be put inside the loop of the PodGo. All you need to do is plug the send into the input of your pedal and then plug the return into the output of your pedal. Then you can go into the send return, set your bypass here. It happens to be for foot switch 4. And you can turn it on and off with a button press. Sometimes you don't need to turn it off and you just want to have the preamp on all the time, so then or the pedal on all the time, whichever pedal it happens to be. You just don't assign it to a foot switch and it'll always be on inside the unit. And it works like anything else. You can press this button here to bypass it or to turn it back on. In addition to that, what you can do with the loop is you can assign it to any foot switch that you want and assign multiple parameters to that foot switch, which is what we have going on in this patch. So if we go to foot switch 1, so here we have, foot switch 4. I always confuse that as foot switch 1 for some reason. 1 is here, 4 is here. So if we look at foot switch 4, okay, right now it's currently set for bypass for the loop. In addition, it's set to turn on the 808 screamer. It's also set to turn off the Jazz Rivet amp model. And I thought there was one other thing I had. Nope, that was it. Those are the 4 things we have set up on that one switch. So again, every time you press this switch, all 4 of those parameters are going to change. In addition to that, you can set up the Pod Go in snapshot mode if you don't want to have to tap dance. So basically the 4 sounds that I have set up are just a regular clean. It's a clean with chorus and delay. With the delay as 8 notes. Okay. I have a dirty sound, which is just like a regular rhythm. I have a lead sound if I turn on the delay and hit this button. This button is a volume boost. It's a 2 dB volume boost. And then I can change the delay, eighths or quarters. And then the other sound I have set up is kind of like a mishmash of stuff. It's the dirty sound mixed with chorus, but the chorus is at a 50% mix. The volume boost is off, and it has delay set at 1/8 notes. So trying to set all that when you're in stomp box mode starts to get a little crazy. So what I've done is I've gone into snapshot mode, and I've set all of those up already. So you have your straight rhythm sound. Oh, I forgot to turn that off. Let's go back to that. Okay. B is going to be clean. C is lead. And then D is a very reverbed and delayed chorus sound. So that's how you can set up advanced routing in the Pod Go. If you have any other questions, once again, hit me up on Facebook, hit me up on Twitter. You can join the Pod Go user group on Facebook, or you can leave a comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Take it easy, guys.